interesting, how people have to follow and obey rules, but yet certain people are free from those rules and city ordinances.
Do you need assistance? Can I have someone from communications? The power is on the back side of that, but I think she's coming.
I find it interesting that our mayor is putting up his signs in places where people are moving out of the city, but he promotes that people are moving in. A for sale sign on almost every lot that you see his sign on. The other thing you notice with these signs is 18 inches of grass. It may not be that clear in these photos, but it does exist. Business that's been closed down for 2 years has 2 signs of his on this property. As the property is becoming more and more of a nuisance than anything else, and you see these signs go up, and yet we have a safe and clean city. Another photo of 18 inches of grass, another for sale sign, another piece of property. This was an interesting one. I drove by this morning, and I saw a Kathy Vote sign there. Drove by later this evening and saw the mayor's sign on the same piece of property. If you were to read the city code and ordinances, you would notice that 2 non-illuminated election signs per candidate per issue is allowed. So therefore, Kathy's sign is up. His sign should not be allowed unless hers is taken down. Last one and the most important.
Please conclude. We need to call
This will be the last one. This property is on 9 and Van Dyke. My understanding is this parking lot is owned by the city. A couple meetings ago, it was decided that this property was to be leased to the owner of the building. This sign is illegally placed on city property, which is against all rules and laws.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Rowena.
Hi, I'm not used to being here, but I'm come because of the election. Where's Fouts? When he was up there on your seat, he told Steenberg he had to be at every meeting, there should be, to answer questions. Fouts has never come to one meeting, and I watch your meetings at TV. He's never been here to answer any questions. And then why is he being allowed to be on the ballot when he left an empty space? When it was told that if he left empty space, he couldn't be on the ballot. What is Fouts getting special privileges for? It's not about his age. Who cares? What sane man's going to lie about his age for 2 years to date a younger woman? You'd lie 10 or 15, not 2. So that doesn't even make sense. The other day at the chili cook-off, Donna and Kathy weren't allowed to do it because Fouts said they're on an election thing. Well, wait a minute. He's never been in the service. Why was he the keynote speaker for Vietnam veterans? Shouldn't you have been somebody in service to be a keynote speaker? He's on the election. He shouldn't have been allowed either. So to me, he sounds like a two-faced liar. I'm sorry. I don't want him to be our mayor. Kathy, good luck. I hope the best. I vote for you. And all the houses in our city, nobody wants to move in these vacant houses because of him. He gives everybody problems, South End with their grass and everything, yet the North End can do what they want. And a lot of proof is by those signs. I didn't see them getting tickets because their grass was too tall, but if it had been my house, I'd have got a ticket. So I hope I'll not vote for none of the gentlemen here. Liz, you're not running, so you don't count. But the rest of you guys, I wouldn't vote for you. You're all kiss-ass spouses, followers. And the girls, good luck, and I hope you win. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Tomas Bania. Am I saying that correctly? Good evening.
Good evening, Council. Tomas Bania, resident of Warren. I've been periodically watching Warren City Council meetings since about 2003. So I've seen the various tides over the years, and I have to say, although I've had disagreements with some of the things that have been presented, recent topics have compelled me to come to speak to council. First of all, something personal on my note. Why is it that the only way to access Warren City Council videos, other than the limited playback on TV Warren, is one copy at each of the North End libraries? Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the 21st century. Nearly every other city around us allows residents to access council videos online. All we get on the city's website is TV Warren News, and as several individuals have called them, FSAs, standing for Fouts Service Announcements. Why don't City Council and other commissions get the same privilege and respect? That leads into my next concern about the libraries themselves. Why is it that we approved a millage to, quote, bring our libraries into the 21st century, yet we are still paying for DVDs and games that in other libraries in our area are free and they also have larger selections? And two, current technologies like Blu-ray discs and good e-reader offerings are not available in our library. In regards to the smart meter issues, I've spoken to several experts and reviewed approximately 1,500 pages of documentation and 2 hours of videos presented by both smart meter companies and from websites provided by various audience members from previous council meetings. First of all, the use of smart meters will most likely not cause death, as some people would like to believe. Another thing that concerned me is that several individuals have come up here stating that they have no idea what DTE is doing with smart meters or how they work. An attempt to research the entities in question would have answered many of the arguments that have been presented. In the interest of time, I will only present an example. The smart meter system that DTE is using uses the frequencies between 900 megahertz and 2.4 gigahertz, the same frequencies currently used by home Wi-Fi, cordless home phones, and cellular broadcast. No one complains when everyone in the neighborhood puts up Wi-Fi access points, and that's probably because if you don't see it, you don't know. Surprisingly, these technologies then theoretically radiate us much more than these so-called smart meters. And unlike smart meters, which broadcast sporadically, they broadcast constantly. As one of the experts I questioned put it to me, large amounts of output over short periods of time is less harmful than small amounts of output over large periods. As I said earlier, in the interest of time, I will end here. But if you have any other questions about my findings not presented here, please feel free to ask. Another thing I researched ironically is this agenda item itself. We currently receive 3 minutes to speak on what we have to say when roughly...
Please conclude.
I'm going to conclude with a quote that I found while browsing online that pretty much sums up my view on other topics that have come up at previous council meetings. Don't like gay marriage? Don't get one. Don't like abortions? Don't get one. Don't like drugs? Don't do them. Don't like sex? Don't have it. Don't like your rights taken away? Don't take away anyone else's. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Gloria Sanker. Good evening.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, City Council. This is regarding our veterans. There was a young man in a fighter plane making another mission across the ocean during the World War II. When on the radio, a loud voice and a worried voice was heard. We have a problem here. We can't get the plane's landing gear down. Does anyone on your plane know how? The pilot yelled out the information to the men on his plane. Does anyone know how to lower the landing gear? There was a silence for a short time, and then a young man said, "Yes, I do." The young soldier from Warren, Michigan, got on the radio and told the pilot from the other plane how to successfully lower the landing gear on his B-24. When both planes completed their mission and got back to the base, the young man's heroism, which saved the lives of those on that plane, was told to his supervisor. And the young man from Warren was awarded the Silver Star Medal. As you may know, the Silver Star Medal is awarded for gallantry in action. The corpsman was just a local guy who went to Lincoln High School, who made a huge contribution to the saving of lives as a member of the Army Air Corps. He, like many other soldiers who were heroes, never made a big deal of it, but we should. And Mayor Fouts does, whenever the mayor can salute soldiers and give them credit. He does, from every branch of service. I think we all need to raise the bar of patriotism for our military. They should get more praise than sports players. Let's renew our gratefulness by giving to one of the VFW, DAV, Wounded Warriors or hospitalized veterans groups, and of course the USO. There are all kinds of veterans groups. Pick one and support them and give them a donation a couple times a year. Hey, they make sure that we can watch our nightly TV programs, root for our favorite sports games, and munch on those snacks in comfort and peace. Memorial Day is coming up. Let's not forget why we celebrate it. These soldiers have made painful sacrifices for us. They have been hurt, paralyzed, blinded, and lost limbs. While enjoying our day of leisure, say a prayer for our veterans and support them. And remember the fallen heroes who paid the ultimate price for freedom. They continually remind us that freedom is not free. Happy Memorial Day, especially to our vets.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Jim McDaniel. Good evening.
Council. I got some good news, bad news for you. I just occurred a lawyer out of Oakland County to have a class action lawsuit against the city of Warren for harassment, for trespassing, and invasion of private property. Okay, so I'm letting you all know that now. And being that the inspectors are not giving the rights of a full employee as far as being part-time, they can be sued individually according to our attorney for trespassing, for invasion of privacy, and harassment. That's only in those. And Mr. List, I think you know what I'm talking about. There's one more other one coming up against our civil rights. He asked me today to go around with a person to patrol the north end to see if there's any violations over there they keep writing up to people in the south end for. Well, I found 16 sets of garbage cans alongside the houses in the north end. I found 4 violations of privacy fences that are screwed to the top rail of the chain link fences with no supports for center poles. I found 10 trailers, be utility trailers or regular camping trailers, parked in people's driveways. Now, you're allowed to have a trailer in your driveway only for a period of 24 to 48 hours so you can take and go on vacation. So guess what? These vehicles are parked there with tires up on jacks and everything else. Nobody's going over there and writing them fines and violations. So, this is blatant harassment, invasion of privacy, and I'm not giving the addresses of the names or streets or addresses of these people in the north end because it's not my duty to do their job like it was before when I used to try to help out the city. Okay? But I did incur a lawyer out of Oakland County because I'm having a change of venue. Mr. Biernut is an attorney, is an